Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, here in Hanover, the nicest city, the nicest fairground in the world. Dear Ministerpräsident Stephan Weil, dear State Secretary Kellner, he's on the way, he will arrive soon. Dear our partner Dr. Merz, dear Mrs. Brickwede, on behalf of Deutsche Messe, I would like to welcome you here, and we say it in German, some understand German, jeden Anfang lebt ein Zauber inne. Yes, we do here again a premiere of the LightCon, the first international congress fair to present lightweight construction across materials and technologies for a wide range of user industry. Where could it be better as in Hannover Messe? You see it when you arrive. We are now in our 75th year, and since 75 years, Hannover Messe is the leading show for different technologies. Thank you very much at this point for the patronage of LightCon as part of the Federal Ministry of Economics and Climate Protection, Minister Habeck, represented today by State Secretary Kellner. Mr. Habeck yesterday visited Hannover Messe, a 3-hour tour around the halls, and the name economy and climate protection fits perfect to the topics we are discussing here in this week. Together with our founding partner, thanks Dr. Merz, Composites United, as well as the dedicated advisory board of LightCon, we jointly launched the LightCon here. When a close cooperation between Composites United and Deutsche Messe was agreed, and that was August 2019, I remember it, we did not expect that there will be something like a pandemic in the 2 years in between. Therefore, we postponed this premiere, unfortunately 2 times, but now it's the day to start. Now suspected that we would have to wait no longer. And even more, I am pleased to welcome you here all today. A warm welcome to everyone who trusts us in this premiere, that are the exhibitors, the speakers, partners, and of course visitors of the first LightCon 2022. LightCon is an annual international congress trade fair that brings together lightweight construction solutions for a wide range of user industry, such as the automotive industry, aerospace, rail transport, medical technology, building industry, just to name a few, to meet and exchange ideas with manufacturers, developers, and designers across materials and technologies. Resource efficiency and raw material security are central issues for politics and industry. To achieve these goals, an innovative circular economy is indispensable. With a view to the energy transition, it is clear that circular lightweight construction solutions offer the decisive benefit of this. Yesterday night we enjoyed the gala dinner in Herrenhausen. That one who are with us see that Minister Habeck yesterday stressed this factor and explained in the circular economy it's really lightweight, a key topic to reach these goals. With a high level of innovation and new technologies, potential can thus be used effectively to achieve the target CO2 neutrality and the associated conservation of resources. Therefore, the motto of Lightweight 2022, lightweight design on the path to circular economy. Moreover, the postponement of Hannover Messe for this week, and I have the feeling everyone forgot it, that we did in the first time in 75 years in the mid of January, we decided there are many reasons to do this show 5 weeks later. Again, thank you to everyone who trusts us here. And this is the reason why we do this premiere parallel to Hannover Messe in this week. Yesterday, the third Lightweighting Summit was held by the Federal Ministry for Economic Affairs and Climate Protection underneath the umbrella of Hannover Messe, so we have the full conference program for the lightweight construction community here for 3 days in this week. Now I'm looking forward to 2 exciting conference days, today and tomorrow. Right after the conference, we can expect 2 political keynotes. Thank you very much, dear Stephan Weil, that you are with us here. And thank you very much to the Parliamentary State Secretary Michael Kellner, as well as keynotes from Airbus, Bosch, Climate Solutions, IBM, VW, and FN Innovative Structures. Thank you for your interest. I wish you good discussion. I wish all of us a good premiere, and that fits for us here in Hanover very good in our strategy. We use the pandemic to create a lot of ideas, to do new concepts, and LightCon is one of 11 new shows we are starting here, and LightCon is one of the most important ones because it fits so perfect in the challenges of our days. And to be honest, we have a lot of challenges, and it's in our hand to find the solution. So in this sense, thank you very much, and a great premiere for all of us. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Köckler. I think, honestly, there's not much more to add. It's great to see you all here in Hanover. A wish came true. Dear Ministerpräsident Stephan Weil, dear Dr. Jochen Köckler, dear Mrs. Stefanie Brickwede, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Composites United and the entire LightCon Advisory Board, I welcome all exhibitors, speakers, partners, and visitors to the premiere of LightCon, the successor of CFK Valley Convention and Carbon Composite Symposium, in cooperation with our strong partner, Deutsche Messe AG. I also thank Federal Minister of Economic Affairs and Climate Action, Dr. Habeck, represented today by State Secretary Kellner in a minute, for the patronage of LightCon. Lightweight design is seen as a key technology, not only for Germany by addressing main challenges of the futures like climate protection, sustainability, resource efficiency, circular economy, and energy independency. But also, the mobility of the future can be linked to lightweight design. The key question is, of course, which material is the right one? Customer solutions in practice are very often hybrid solutions, and not always carbon fiber reinforced plastics as a material with the highest lightweight potential must be used. So we decided to form for LightCon, like in sports, a national lightweight team with our partners in the board to open a kind of Olympics for all lightweight materials. All materials must be considered, and the best solution should win. Yesterday, the third Lightweighting Summit was held by the Federal Ministry of Economic Affairs and Climate Action underneath the umbrella of Hannover Messe, and was an excellent teaser for 2 more days with a full conference program for the lightweight design community today. Our, from my point of view, excellent program will give you more insights. The motto of LightCon 2022, Dr. Köckler mentioned already, is lightweight design on the path to circular economy, accompanied by keynotes from Airbus, Bosch Climate Solutions, IBM, Volkswagen, and FN Innovative Structures. So let us start. I wish us fruitful knowledge exchange, good discussions, and enough time for networking at LightCon 2022. Thank you for joining us, and feel free to be a part of the team. Thank you very much. So now we come to the first political keynote, and I really have to mention that Lower Saxony really is committed to lightweight design by, for example, Composites Uniting, being in Stade, of course, by the Open Hybrid Lab Factory, which also is present here in hall number 19, by Niedersachsen Aviation, by the universities of Hannover, Clausthal, Zellerfeld, Braunschweig, and of course companies like Volkswagen, Airbus, other companies and institutes. And therefore, it's a pleasure for me and honor to welcome our Ministerpräsident Stephan Weil. Mr. President, the stage is yours.
Good morning, everybody. Dear Mr. Merz, Mr. Köckler, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Lower Saxony, welcome to Hanover, our state capital, welcome to LightCon 2022. It is my great pleasure to welcome you here to the opening of LightCon, the conference, but also the trade fair. Indeed, being able to open a trade fair again and a conference with people physically, live and in color, present after 2 years is part of the normality we have all been longing for. All the more reason for us to be glad that when we can experience the birth of a new leading conference and a new leading fair. And the lessons learned over the last 2 years meant that the LightCon is taking place not just here in Hanover in a physical way, but on a worldwide scale. Deutsche Messe is one of the world's key hybrid event organizers, particularly for the industrial sector. So welcome also to everybody, wherever you are, being here on a virtual way. This applies all the more to lightweighting, a technology that offers such broad benefit with so many significant applications. Ladies and gentlemen, as we all feel, we are living really in disruptive times. It is not just climate change that is forcing us to change nearly everything, but for example, to change production methods that had developed over decades. The crisis in Ukraine is making it drastically clear before our very eyes that we can't always rely on sufficient quantities of certain raw materials being available at all times. Resource efficiency is becoming more important than ever. Making efficient use of raw materials is the acid test for technological capability. After all, the pandemic and the war in Ukraine have taught us one thing. One-sided dependence on technologies and raw materials must be reduced. And how do we do that? By developing new resource-saving technologies, which also entails using other materials than before. Finding new partners to enhance alternative technologies and build profitable business relationships for the future. This is exactly the idea behind Hannover Messe as well as the LightCon. If reducing our carbon footprint can only be achieved by cutting productivity, none of us will agree and can agree. And then this is the only possible alternative. We have to make it through better resource efficiency. The concept of game-changing technology has rarely been so appropriate. Our aviation industry and wind energy sector belong to the early adapters of light construction. Rotor blades are for the most part made of carbon fiber reinforced composites. Tomorrow's vehicles also have to get lighter to produce fewer emissions and consume less fuel. Lower Saxony has taken account of these trends and set up for a couple of years of international renowned centers, including the research center CFRB in Stade, Mr. Merz, and the Open Hybrid Lab Factory in Wolfsburg. I'm therefore very glad to see the LightCon celebrating its debut here in Hanover as the new leading fair for lightweighting construction. Ladies and gentlemen, there is still great need to tap into unusual potential. On the one hand, material account for 43% of the costs in industry. On the other hand, only 22% of small and medium-sized companies actually use lightweight materials, 22%. The possible application must be better known if you are going to trigger broader use of lightweight solutions. As Ministerpräsident of an industrial German state, I see the development as a great chance for our local industry. Germany has the potential of becoming the leader provider and leading market for lightweight construction. The German government's new lightweight construction strategy is one element in this perspective. I'm sure Permanent Secretary Kellner will certainly tell you more in a few minutes about this. As in other sectors of the economy, first of all, it is important to create the necessary general conditions. This is just one of the reasons why yesterday Federal Minister for Economic Affairs Robert Habeck held the Lightweighting Summit, the central lightweight construction event in the context of Hannover Messe. The prime focus was on the link to the hydrogen industry. Once again, this clearly shows us the outstanding significance of lightweight construction also for the energy transition. This applies all the more here in North Germany with the extensive coastline and broad industrial structure makes us simply predestinated to take up a pioneering role here too. Ladies and gentlemen, the LightCon is revealing prospects for industry that are more relevant than ever before. I'm very grateful that we can be part of this and hope you all have a very successful Congress today and a successful stay at Hanover Fair 2022. Let us work together to ensure that lightweight construction helps us to achieve the climate targets and reduce dependencies both. So all the best for you and your efforts. See you again next year in Hanover. Thank you very much for your attention.
So yeah, unfortunately, the Deutsche Bahn does not make use of the full lightweight potential. So they have a certain delay, and based on this delay, Michael Kellner will not be present in time, but we expect him every minute. So I will make use of the time I have now to explain a bit how it works afterwards. We will have the speech of Mr. Kellner. Afterwards, we will have 2 keynotes from Airbus and from Bosch Climate Solutions. And then after this presentation, we will have a coffee break. It will be at about 11:45. So you will have time to visit hall number 19, our exhibition. And after this introduction session, we will be divided into 2 groups. One group will be here in New York number 1, and the other one will be in New York number 2. New York number 1. The session is Material Solutions 1. It will be having presentations from Thermhex Waben, CTC, the Magnesium Association, and in New York number 2, we will have a session about sustainable engineering and design. There we have presentations by Scheffler, University of Braunschweig, and EDAC Engineering. And then after that, in the afternoon, after the lunch break, again, there will be 2 sessions in these 2 rooms. And in New York, number 1, the session is Manufacturing Innovations, with presentations by the Deutsche Bahn. So that will be exciting to see how they explain all these delays, if that is really related to a lightweight design. Then Engel Austria and Maxi Molding. In session number 2, application and use cases will be presented by Fraunhofer LBF, Carbocon, and 90 Labs. And finally, after the coffee break in the afternoon at 4 o'clock, there will be a keynote by Oliver Garr, who is already here, sustainable leader from IBM, about artificial intelligence applications and how sustainability and digitalization are shaping the value chain of the future. At 4:30, the moderators would like to have a kind of feedback. They want to present their impressions, stating what they have seen as their favorites. And after that, at about 5 o'clock, then we will have the LightCon at night. So then our evening program will start. And then we have a chance to network with nice live music, with some drinks and also some food. So that is basically the program. I think we should just wait now for Mr. Kellner. And I think I get the signal 3 more minutes. We have time. So I would say we wait just these 3 minutes, and then I will introduce Mr. Kellner, and he will start his presentation. We can maybe say already a few words about the Ministry of Economics and Climate Action. They see lightweight design as the technology of the future. And this is also the reason why Mr. Habeck, the minister, took over the patronage of the LightCon and also other lightweight events which are related all to lightweight. So, and this is of course a clear signal from the politics that they also support our passion for lightweight solutions. And this is really a motivation also, of course, for the LightCon to be not only for 1 year here, but also for future, of course, because we think this topic is more and more important also for the topics of the future. And the support by the government and by the politics are, of course, very important for us. So therefore, my proposal is we just wait. I think he will be here in 1 minute, and then I will introduce Mr. Kellner. So obviously there's more time needed, so we would like to take the opportunity and talk a bit about the LightCon, how it was developed, and therefore I welcome here Thomas Binkowski from the Deutsche Messe AG. Thomas, maybe you explain a bit from your point of view, and then later on I can explain from my point of view.
Of course, thank you very much. So welcome everybody, welcome at the first LightCon, the new Trade and Congress show here in Hanover about lightweighting design and construction. I think it starts in August 2019 when we decided to organize a trade show. We made a workshop also with partners. We have a very strong advisory board, and I got the information 1 minute. A strong advisory board. So we have to interrupt. He's coming. Perfect.
Oh.
So welcome again, and welcome, Mr. State Secretary Kellner.
Yeah. So, just in time. So we were already mentioning that maybe the Deutsche Bahn does not take advantage out of lightweight potential, so that we have a certain delay. It's a pleasure and honor to have you here, Michael Kellner, the Parliamentary State Secretary at the Federal Ministry of Economic Affairs and Climate Action. As I mentioned already, lightweight design is a key technology for the German government. The Federal Ministry for Economic Affairs and Climate Action took over the patronage of LightCon. Many thanks and a warm welcome to Michael Kellner, Parliamentary State Secretary.
Dr. Köckler, Ms. Brickwede, Dr. Merz, ladies and gentlemen, I'm really honored to be here, and actually I'm delighted that I just made it right in time. You know, I took this time, the train was delayed, probably not enough lightweight technology, you're right. But I'm usually a defender of a train. So on last Wednesday I arrived back from South Africa with the Chancellor. Fortunately, there was no problem with the plane. I'm very happy about that. But I then took a car. I had a meeting in the south of Germany, and the car broke down and it's still right next to Leipzig, somewhere there, because the battery was broken. So anyhow, transportation is a difficult issue, but today I'm not here to talk about that. But it's a very important topic you're discussing here at the conference, and for that reason I'm happy to speak here today. The transition of economy towards greenhouse gas neutrality is a huge challenge. It's a contribution to the implementation of the Paris Agreement to become greenhouse gas neutral by already 2045. Bit more than 20 years. So therefore, we need to more than double the annual reduction in emissions in 2030. To this end, we must not only speed up the energy transition, but also break the link between economic growth we want to have and the consumption of raw materials. We know that there is a direct link between the consumption of natural resources and climate change. And I think this figure is astonishing. The extraction and processing of raw materials accounts for 50% of global greenhouse gas emissions, 50%. So therefore, it's a giant task for Germany's production-based industry, the pillar of our prosperity, to drastically reduce the use of raw material. And Russia's illegal invasion of Ukraine also show us how important it is to reduce specific dependencies on imports of raw materials. The need to reconsider the flows of raw materials had already become evident in the light of the pandemic-related supply chain problems, and we're still facing, again, supply chain problems in these weeks. The circular economy is the major instrument to reduce the consumption of primary raw materials and harmful emissions as much as possible. Therefore, the aim to establish and to close material cycles, we need to press ahead with the endeavor as vigorously as with energy efficiency. This will benefit both the environment and our economy. Resource-efficient and energy-efficient lightweighting technologies play a key role for Germany's transition towards climate neutrality as they provide industrial applications for a circular economy. In view of innovative designs and the substitutions of materials, lightweighting already stands for one of the fundamental principles of the circular economy, namely preventing waste through resource efficiency. In addition, lightweighting means reducing CO2 emissions during production and while products are being used. Lightweighting can thus make a substantial contribution to reaching the German federal government's objectives regarding the mitigation of climate change and the protection of resources. The potential for recycling and reusing lightweighting products after end of life is, however, far from exhausted. That applies in particular to composite materials. In this context, we are facing great challenges also in view of the fact that modern, efficient lightweighting products are often based on complex materials which make recycling very difficult. We therefore urgently need to take a close look at the entire life cycle of these products and need to ensure their compatibility with circular economy through recycling-friendly product design. The transition towards a circular economy is not only a technological challenge, but also a challenge for society and in economic policy terms. Ladies and gentlemen, without your entrepreneurship spirit and capacity for innovation, we will not be able to master this challenge. You have successfully contributed to establishing lightweighting as a key enabling technology. LightCon and yesterday's Lightweighting Summit have shown us again that you want to make lightweighting fit for the future. This includes, in particular, the progress in the circular economy. A look at today's program makes me optimistic. It shows that you are working hard on a broad range of promising solutions, also for recycling in both industry and research. It's our task as the Federal Ministry of Economic Affairs and Climate Action to create a favorable policy environment also for R&D funding. The Economic Affairs Ministry is promoting the development of innovative lightweighting technologies in the context of the Technology Transfer Program for Lightweighting. The planned revision of the program will attach even greater importance to circular economy aspects. Furthermore, the lightweighting strategy of the Federal Ministry of Economic Affairs and Climate Action will be based on a broader footing to become the lightweighting strategy of the entire federal government. Here the focus will also be on compatibility of lightweighting products with the circular economy. This will give a fresh boost to lightweighting and to help harness its potentials for the mitigation of climate change and resource efficiency. In addition, new technological developments will contribute to strengthening the competitiveness of the German economy and to create jobs. Let me take this opportunity to thank the many participants and the audience for your commitment on this important issue. My special thanks go to the organizer of this event for the constructive cooperation, also on behalf of the patron of the LightCon, Federal Minister Robert Habeck. I wish you 2 interesting days full of inspiring ideas. Thank you very much.